Day with SSJ is presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated, and HLAC certified to the highest standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
Trailing by 11. Durant.
And a foul.
Pure.
And a foul down low.
And one.
And get fouls.
Feels like you got to go right at him. Unless Booker's open. For three. Timeout Serbia. Curry looking to get open. James. Curry. Milutinov on him. Curry. Drive. Kick. Embiid. Durant. Durant. Pulls. And hits.
Good.
Booker, James.
I'm in a pick and roll. Oh.
Curry for the lead. Oh! Kaboom!
We said we was going to get our Steph Curry moment.
32 for Steph Curry. U.S. up one. Micic can't respond. James, the rebound. Looking to run. Booker and Durant with him. James. Oh! LeBron James, the Captain America, putting the country on his back.
Talk that talk. Talk that talk, Noah.
Largest lead for the U.S. tonight. Bogdanovich, Curry, coast to coast. Get it in. Micic, 6 seconds left. Micic gonna have to hurry. Bogdanovich puts it up. Short, and the United States trailing by as many as 17, back from underneath the grave, advance to the gold medal game. 95-91, your final score. Steph Curry, magnificent, 36 points, and heartbreak for Serbia as they had it right in their grasp, a 17-point lead. Jokic was outstanding per usual. Bogdanovich laid it all on the line. But it's the United States a little bit too much with a 4-point victory.
Chiefs, Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I allow them to get in the swing of things, and you know, the ones know how to do that. Both sides of the ball, they know how to go about doing that, and you know, but somewhere you got to get on there and shoot, and so it gives him an opportunity to do that.
I'm extremely excited. I mean, obviously for me to go out there and play with these guys and showcase what we have the ability to do, but to learn from our mistakes too. I mean, you want to go out there and play for real and play against someone else. I'm tired of going against Spags and every defense known to man. And so I think just going out there, letting the guys play, make decisions under fire, and have them make those right decisions and learn from the mistakes after.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday again, it's Saturday, Sunday. Hey! Hey!
It is Friday on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's New Day with SSJ on this Friday. And no, it's not Stephen St. John. I think he's back maybe in Kansas City. I'm not exactly sure. I know he's wandering through cornfields yesterday.
Right.
He told us last week it would be a meandering return to the city.
Taking his time on the way back.
His sweet time.
If they needed to stop somewhere, they'd stop.
Seems like the stops were being made. Somewhere, somehow. I am Todd Leabo, in for Stephen St. John today.
Is that in Iowa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd driven past the signs about that many times driving back from River Falls.
We're talking about the
crash site of Richie Valens.
The Big
Big
Bopper.
Bopper.
And Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly.
Day the music died.
Yeah.
Steven was visiting the area.
Yeah.
Paying tribute.
Tribute to that. So he'll be back on Monday.
He'll be back Monday.
I won't be here on Monday.
You won't be here on Monday.
So good luck.
Nate might be here on Monday.
Nate could be here on Monday.
Who knows? Steven will be here on Monday.
Steven's going to be here on Monday.
That's the important thing.
Here's the deal. It's the end of the summer, and football season's about to start, so we're getting in a little.
You're about to start.
Getting some. Well, it is started.
Preseason games.
We got
last
them.
night.
We got it last night. We had one for a week. The Chiefs go play on Saturday.
But
so
you know
it's
what?
on.
Good thing that Bryce Young didn't play, though.
Well, why should he play?
Why take the risk?
He's proven it all.
Why
already.
take the risk of this kid? You got to keep him. But Patrick Mahomes will play on Saturday. But Bryce Young.
When's the last time Aaron Rodgers played in a preseason game?
I don't know.
10 years.
But Bryce Young. My point is Bryce Young
needs to
Aaron.
play.
He's not Aaron Rodgers.
No, and like last night also, what did Drake May played 3 plays?
Yeah, he played 1 series. Got a couple.
Patrick's going to play a series. I know Andy said a quarter.
Got a couple passes behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's my prediction about Patrick Mahomes. If they go 3 and out on a bad snap or run in a pass, he'll play 2 series.
Right.
If they get a first down, he's going to play.
Yeah, that's the protocol.
Yeah, that's how it works with Andy.
Yeah.
But you heard the soundbite you put in the open there. Eventually, you got to go do this. So he has his guys do this. So Patrick plays. Now, anyone who's a little bit hurt won't play. Joe Tooney's not going to play, stuff like that. It'll take them a while to get worked in. But what we look at is the quarterback all the time. And it is, to me, an interesting thing that Bryce Young did not play. And maybe have they said he's not going to play at all in the preseason?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he didn't play last night.
There's only 3 games now. So you don't have 4 games to do this.
3 games.
Andy's got this down where they play a little bit, they'll play a little more next time, and then they won't play at all.
Right.
That's how it works. Something tells me the way Andy does this works. I don't know. There's been some success.
I think there's a
track record.
Yeah, there's some data. There's some data to support that, Todd.
I don't necessarily – what I'm looking for against the Jags, we'll talk to Stan Weber about this. We'll talk to Tim Grunhard about this. They'll be in studio today. We probably won't talk to Mike McFarland about this, but we will talk to Mike McFarland.
We could ask him.
We could ask him what he thinks.
Hey,
but
think about Pat getting some snaps.
Getting
on
a couple
Saturday.
snaps in. I'm going to talk to Mike McFarland about the Royals.
He'll have a take.
And Bob. Good night, Bobby was good the other night. But
Bob.
So we have a lot of stuff to talk about. It's a getting ready. It's not a regular football Friday yet.
It's a football
close.
Friday.
We don't have. We're not doing the Border Patrol Blitz yet. We're not quite there yet.
It's a football Friday.
But it is a football Friday because we have an actual football game for the Chiefs.
Red Friday.
You notice how excited Stan was? It was last week, right? When he's like, from now on, all
Friday.
the way,
yeah,
till middle of February, there's going to be a game. That's how we are here, and the Chiefs are going to be playing at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna be out of town, so we'll find this. It's NFL Network. We're out of town.
Yeah, you'll find it.
We'll get it. We'll be fine. I'm gonna remind you. Here's my public service announcement for Mick Schaefer right now. The game is on 38th the spot tomorrow, not 41, because the Olympics are on 41.
Oh.
So.
Oh.
If you don't have 38th the spot, you best find a friend or get an antenna. Because 38th spot is not on YouTube TV. If you're a YouTube TV subscriber, they're not on there.
Is it on Prime? Did you know Prime just got live TV?
I don't know if it's on Prime Live TV.
I don't know either. I literally just saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
Prime has live TV.
Because some of those...
Or the Fire Stick.
The sister channels, 38, 29, they're not 62. Some are on YouTube TV. I think 29 is, but I think 38's not or something. Anyway, also the third game, because of, I think the Democratic National Convention is going to be on 38, not 41. So,
but they don't play them on NFL Network, or they?
Well, they do, but they don't play them live.
Yeah,
right. Or if you're, I think it's on NFL Network, but like I'm going to be in Chicago. We'll probably be able to watch NFL Network in Chicago.
Right, and they might have the Jacksonville broadcast.
Could be.
Because what they do, every team has their own broadcast crew.
Yes, and then the NFL Network just takes one of them.
Yeah.
They don't create their own broadcast.
No, every team is in charge of their own broadcast, so you get 2 broadcasts of every preseason
right.
game.
Which one you want to watch?
So
for us,
I have a feeling that they'll somewhere they're going to put NFL Network will put the defending 2-time champions on.
We're going to be in Chicago. I think the Bears play at noon, and I think Caleb Williams is supposed to play. He didn't play in the first game.
Yeah.
So there'll be probably some excitement about that.
The Texans and the Bears play 4 preseason games, I believe.
Yeah, because they
played the Hall of Fame game.
What if you call that playing? They were there.
They played 3 quarters.
Some guys were out there in uniform.
They played 3 quarters of the Hall of Fame game.
Whatever. But, yeah, we do have real football. So I'm excited for that. We'll talk in great depth with Stan for sure.
See what
and
Stan
Timmy.
thinks about his owner not being in a hurry to sign
I'm just not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry.
Wide receiver.
And now you just have the ability to say LOL on Twitter to your owner.
Yeah.
So
Wild.
That is precisely what the Chiefs wanted to avoid when they traded Tyreek Hill, because that's what it would be like if Tyreek Hill were holding out. And that's why it was smart for them to maximize what they wanted to get out of Tyreek Hill, because the Chiefs don't look like they've got the tummy to pay someone $35 million to play wide receiver. They so far haven't had the tummy to pay someone $20 million to play cornerback.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're talking about, Jerry Jones yesterday came out and had these comments when he was asked about the urgency of signing CeeDee Lamb, who's holding out at camp for the Cowboys.
Are you saying there's a sense of urgency as you begin the preseason to get CD done?
No.
Why you say that?
I went to high school or I went to college. I don't know why I said it, but I'm just saying I don't know. I don't have a sense of urgency about getting it done. Pick any reason you want. I was at Nobu 2 days ago. Give that as a reason.
And so then that, was clipped out and put on Twitter, and then CD retweeted it as LOL.
Because they were laughing. I mean, I don't know what's so funny.
Yeah.
That is one of the most unprofessional sound bites I've ever heard.
There's a lot of giggles and laughs around Jerry Jones down there. It's a lot of.
Hey, if you don't want to sign the guy, trade him and improve your team. He's doing the same thing with Dak. It's going to cost him money if he wants. I mean, the price of Dak is going up because they refuse to extend him.
This has been an interesting topic for Stan as well.
Yeah.
He pays attention to the Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why it's relevant to.
It's listen, the Chiefs went through distractions last year with Chris Jones. But it was
guess what?
They handled it better.
The owner wasn't out in front of everybody laughing.
As much as we don't like it as media that Clark Hunt is boring and that Clark Hunt talks to us 4 times a year maybe.
Right.
Once in camp, once at the midway point, once at the end, and once pre-draft. And then if they win the Super Bowl, maybe a little bit more, he'd be at the parade or something.
Yeah, I'll be at the parade.
And then if something happens where there's a stadium vote and he's going to be somewhere, maybe so. But Jerry Jones talks after every single game in the hallway. He does a radio show, and he's just hanging out at camp. And they go over and ask him questions. You know what I mean? That wasn't a press conference. That was like a little scrum.
Yeah. Wild.
That's probably not the way. If that's the way Jerry wants to do it, it's Jerry's team.
Sure.
Jerry whatever he wants. But Jerry Jones is 81 years old now, by the way. We've had all this talk about, should you be running the country, doing things, blah, blah, all this stuff. Should this guy be the face and running around giggling and laughing about stuff? No, I don't know. It's not my team. I don't care.
I was going to say, it's great. It's great entertainment.
It is great entertainment. But what are you supposed to do, entertain or win? Clark Hunt's boring, but they are running a franchise with rules. And the rules are he doesn't go out and say a bunch of stuff, and Andy doesn't talk about personnel things.
And he hires
even though
great
he's
people
behind,
to do,
he hires people to do it.
Do the job.
Yes.
And he lets them do their job. But whatever. That was the talk yesterday. So Stan's coming in, big Cowboys fan.
So we'll talk to Stan. He'll be unhappy about that. But now you've been talking about the Cowboys here. You're trying to avoid the subject of Captain America.
I'm not avoiding it.
Your once former country, United States of America.
It's still my country. I'm an American.
You have forsaken your citizenship, or you've forsaken your Lakers citizenship. Which one?
Both.
One's got paperwork. The other one.
Yeah, both. I'm still an American, though.
Did you file paperwork to get rid of your Lakers?
No, because it's on hold.
It's on hold. You pushed pause.
Yeah.
So now the guy who's ruined your Lakers is out there putting the cape on.
Yeah. Steph Curry was Captain America. All right? Steph Curry was the stud yesterday.
Who threw him the ball?
It doesn't matter. Whatever. It's a great win.
America was down 17.
Yes.
Correct?
17 points. They were down 17 points.
Serbia, we were watching that game the other day, we're down 24 against Australia, remember?
Oh yeah.
And came back and won that game.
We watched that morning here.
That was during the show Tuesday.
Yes.
And so then this was their next game each, and the United States handled Serbia fairly easily in group play.
Right, and they'd also played. So this is the third time they'd played them since I believe July 17th.
One of the warm-up games.
Yeah, they played them in one of the warm-up games.
This is the one that really, really, really mattered.
Right.
Though. And Serbia's got some players. I mean, Jokic
he's the best player in the world.
Yeah, if
he's
he's not the best,
he is the
1B
best, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean he is great, and they've got other pros on that team, but they also had an insane first half where they were just
hitting
slopping
everything.
some stuff in.
Yeah,
but what you can't just lay around and be down by 17 points against Jokic and 3 other pros.
Yeah,
but Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid had a little mini 6-point run.
Yeah.
He got a little full of himself there at the end. He's like, I'm going to take this from the top of the key, dribbled it off his leg. I'm like, Joel,
he does something great, and then it's like, that's Embiid.
He's like, well, now I got this game.
Yeah.
Let me go. How about you just stand over there and you make a 12-foot shot?
The biggest key to that game, the reason Embiid got that 6-point run was because once Jokic got his 4th foul, he couldn't play defense.
Yeah, couldn't D him up.
And so, smart playing, but I don't know.
Coaching?
No.
I
I think Steve Kerr, he's a great coach in the NBA. Proven
this is not his deal.
This is
he's going to win a gold medal.
Well,
or is he?
Is he? Yeah. Well,
this will be something. So this will be Saturday afternoon, 2:30 or so. They're playing France. Obviously, this is in France. It's France's deal. They have the best young player in the world.
Victor Wembanyama.
He's 20 years old or whatever. He is only going to get better because he is so raw and new to the game.
Rookie of the year last year.
Yeah, he's going to just get better and better and better. That's what he's going to do. And they all hate Joel Embiid right now because Joel Embiid was not born in America, but he got to choose because of whatever international rules you want to use.
He never lived in France either, though, right?
But I think it has to do with the heritage of Angola or whatever and colonization, whatever.
Right.
He had a choice to make.
He lives in America, has had children in America, got married in America.
Played college basketball in America, went to high school for part of his time in America.
He considers himself an American. Yeah. But the French do not like that.
Yeah, there was a path. I mean, you look around, there's plenty of folks who are like representing other countries because of grandparents or whatever, because it's harder to make some of these teams in America.
The French.
Joel Embiid said no to the French.
Well, he also probably where's my best chance to win a gold medal?
You want to go to America,
right?
Best chance to play with the GOAT.
Yeah, who's that? He's playing with Michael Jordan.
I did say there was an interesting. I don't know if you've seen this on Instagram or Facebook or wherever they post all these things, TikTok. When the Chiefs walk down the hill, you always see the video of them walking down the hill in St. Joseph. There's an iPad set up that has a question on it. And they walk down, and they don't have to answer the question, but they can if they want. One of the questions this week was, who's the GOAT of basketball? And what do you think these young people who play for the Chiefs overwhelmingly voted?
They vote for LeBron.
They did vote for LeBron.
Dummies.
The coaches walked down the hill. A lot of Michael Jordans. They're a little older.
Yeah.
There were plenty of players who said Michael Jordan as well. Some Kobe's.
Nice.
Couple Kobe's in there.
I like that.
But it was interesting to see them all walk down there and answer that question. So you're walking down the hill, Jake. The sign's on the wall. Who's the GOAT of basketball?
I'm punching the sign down.
You're just punching the sign down?
I'm punching the sign down because it's a stupid question. No, is LeBron top 3 of all time? Maybe.
Okay.
I'll give you that. Maybe he might be the second best ever. He's not the GOAT.
Not the GOAT.
Get out of here.
What if he takes this team on his 40-year-old shoulders and beats Victor Wembanyama on his home court?
It's great. It's great.
He
did it with I mean, whatever. It's fine.
It is an interesting team. We've talked about
he
this
plays
for a
way
couple
too
of weeks.
much.
They have, they've got some great young players on the team that aren't playing much.
There's better
and there's
players.
also some great young players who didn't get invited.
Yes.
Jaylen
Brown.
America still, this is our game. Now, here's what we've done. The NBA, their global charge 40 years ago was they wanted to grow the game so they can make money everywhere.
And they have.
And now they eventually are going to be foisted on their own petard by creating NBA players all over the world.
Look, I don't think the NBA wouldn't mind if France won. I think that. I mean,
that is an interesting question.
I don't think the NBA would care one bit. I think they almost would like.
look what we've done.
Look
We've
what
made this.
Victor Wembanyama has done. Like that's
They
their
created Nikola Jokic. They
Yep.
created Luka Doncic.
Right.
They've created Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, so I'm saying I don't think the NBA would mind. It's a great advertisement for one of their rising young stars.
Yeah, it's going to be something to see.
And
That'll
then
be Saturday. I think it's 2:30.
They had
our time.
3 players drafted in the top 10.
Yeah, it was this year of the draft. I was looking at the people. I don't
Number
know these
1
people.
overall.
A lot of times, guys will come to America, like Joel Embiid, and they'll play a little college basketball or something, or like, bad example maybe, but Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, whatever. They were from Australia, and they came to America to play basketball, right? And but some of these guys are drafted now because of the European model where you can go play professional basketball for.
They've been playing since they're 13, 14-year-olds.
It's the soccer model over there, and they've been doing that. So now you're going to get some of these guys who come over here as 18, 19-year-olds getting drafted. And, like, listen, Jokic wasn't the top draft pick. Luka Doncic wasn't the top draft pick. Victor Wembanyama was. And, but there have been some failures drafting the Euros back in the day. But
also I think teams
now.
it seems like, well, we don't want to whiff on these guys.
Yeah.
Because look at,
Yeah, Luka's team didn't even make it. I don't think they've made the Olympics.
Probably not.
They didn't get there. It's not that easy to make.
No. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to qualify.
Yeah. A couple other great moments yesterday. Is it the 440 hurdles?
It's just the 400.
400 hurdles.
It's awesome. That was awesome.
Oh my God. She won by a second and a half.
She's just broken the world record 6 times.
Every time.
6 times.
And the girl Bol from the Netherlands with the funny voice, she just looked up.
She sounds like Mickey Mouse.
She looked up and she was just beat. She's like, I got nothing here. I got nothing for you. And that was awesome. So great victory there. United States, the 110 high hurdles, almost got 3 there. Got 2 medals, though. Awesome. The Noah Lyles story was wild.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean,
the 200.
200. Apparently, he's had COVID for like 3 days. And, whatever you think about what it is, it's not probably the best thing to have to run 200 meters. Still got bronze.
Right.
Wild. If you're running, I bet if you were running like 400, you wouldn't even try maybe. Or running like 1,500, you'd just be toast.
Maybe.
But it's a sad deal for him that you don't want to get sick at the wrong time.
The guy from Botswana, what's his name?
Fast.
Tebogo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leslie Tebogo.
He
was in. I mean, he was in that mass in the 100.
Yeah.
That was so close. You just kind of forget.
Lyles in the semifinal.
Dude is fast.
Yeah.
Very fast. So there's no shame because the time was a great time too. It was 1949 or something. That was an unbelievable time. It wasn't world record, but still, that's a respectable time. Kenny Bednarik.
Yeah, Bednarik.
He ended up getting 2 medals, right?
Yeah.
Because he got 1 in the 100. No, he came in 4th in the 100. Fred Curley got the 2nd or 3rd in the 100.
I think he still got another medal.
There's 3 dudes
in the mix.
I
think he got in the mixed relay.
Well, I don't think, and they're not going to do. Apparently, Noah Lyles isn't going to run the 4x100, which is a shame. I would have loved to have seen America at full strength run the 4x100.
Trying to bust that record.
Yeah, but he said yesterday, he says that these guys can do this, and he doesn't want to be the reason they don't. But I'm watching this morning. There's still the heptathlons going on, things like that, and it's pretty interesting to watch those things. But that was too bad they didn't get that one done. But that was a scene last night with the hurdles, man.
Yeah.
That being good at something and there's being great at something, and that was like being absolutely great and just flexing, because they showed the other day the top 10 times ever were those 2 ladies, and I think
Sydney McLaughlin
Lavroni, she had like 6 of them, and the other girl had like 4 of them. But all the top ones, the top ones were the American girl, and she just like, I got this, and we almost ended up getting the top 3 because 4th place. I forget the girl's name. She almost caught the girl from the Netherlands. But we're good at track. That's what it looks like. We work hard at it. A lot of the events, and pretty cool.
Cockrell.
She got 4th.
Cockrell got second.
And then the 4th place was another. Cockrell was the girl with the short hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Amazing stuff. Anyway, we'll talk some Olympics throughout the day. Stan Weber's going to be here. We're going to talk all Cowboys. Actually, we're not. But we will push his buttons about the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb because he loves the way Jerry Jones runs his franchise.
I don't believe you.
He liked it for a few minutes in the early to mid-'90s, but now I think he's maybe had enough of it. We're going to get a weather report from Jeff Penner. We're going to talk to Mike McFarland about the Royals. Big series coming up against the Cardinals. Once again, weird one. Short series, no Sunday game. They're playing 2 games against the Cardinals because of just kind of the weirdness of the Major League Baseball schedule. But those are big games. These are the teams they're competing with, not for this exact wild card, but this is the level of teams you're competing with. You have to beat these teams, and we will wrap it up with Tim Grunhard, who will have a lot to say for sure. We are underway on New Day with SSJ. Stan Weber's here. He's got a sport coat on. It must be a serious Friday in the business world. Welcome back into New Day with SSJ. Todd Leabo in studio for Stephen St. John. He'll be back on Monday. I'll be gone on Monday. Nate will be back around next week.
Maybe.
He was around this week. He's around next week. I think he's
Maybe.
going to be around next week.
No.
He's not? Not at all? Don't know? A little bit. Un poquito.
There's a slight chance he might be around.
Yeah.
But he won't be from the 14th on, so that's Wednesday on.
Wednesday.
He might be here Monday. He
Yeah.
might have
Wednesday's going to have a couple games. Yeah. Got it.
Anyways.
Stan Weber's here now.
That's the most important.
Because it's a Football Friday.
That's right.
Good morning, Stan.
Good morning.
So,
it's football weather out there, Todd. Do you realize that?
Oh, it is football weather.
Beautiful.
You want to begin with Jerry
You might hit
Jones
a record low.
and how to run a football team?
Wherever you want to go, Todd. I'm so glad you're here.
Or,
thanks for coming in, Todd.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here for the listeners on my vacation.
It's Todd's day off, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Well, it's not
I absolutely know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm getting into the system.
This is 4 hours of vacation that he's using working.
My vacation begins at 10:01 today.
Well, thanks for coming in. It's awesome to see
you,
you, hear from you. Fans love you.
We're getting
all my
there.
friends love you.
I love your friends.
Yeah.
We're getting there now. It's almost time. It is really. We haven't had an August. Well, we've never had an August like this, never, because the Chiefs haven't been defending Super Bowl champions and a competitive baseball team. You know, that's the thing. That's the different deal for us. And oh, by the way, 3 college football teams ranked in the top 25 ready to start. I mean, there's a lot of this is
in a 12-team playoff year.
In a 12-team playoff year, and an all-new Big 12, and an all-new SEC.
I got something for you on that too. When we get that, when we have that little pocket of college football, we'll
Let's
get back
do
to
this first.
that.
We will talk some Chiefs and Jags because I want to talk to you about preseason and kind of the way to go about that. But real quick, we make fun. You love your Cowboys. You have a son named after a Cowboy
Coach.
legend.
Yes. Landry.
Landry is named after Tom Landry, who is one of your favorite people of all time, and he coached one of your favorite people of all time in Roger Staubach. And
and then the other guys took over.
Then the other guys took over. They won 3 Super Bowls, right?
Oh yes, they did. The
been
new
a while.
guys.
It's been a while though.
Jimmy Johnson won 2 of them. Unbelievable, your boy.
Barry Switzer.
Barry Switzer.
Your boy as well. He won a Super Bowl. But now, I mean, I've talked about this many times. I remember the Cowboys were here a few years ago. You go down after the game, and Jerry's holding court in the hallway after a freaking game. I mean, he's still the star of the franchise. Now he's out here talking about CeeDee Lamb. By the way, real games are going to start in a few weeks, and there's no sense of urgency to work out his where is he? Not Micah Parsons is the best player on the team, probably?
No. CeeDee Lamb
player?
Is the best player.
He's the best player on the team. All right, so this is the best player on the team. And whether or not you should pay wide receivers $35 million, I don't know. Chiefs don't do that. Cowboys seem like a franchise that will, but they just haven't gotten this done. What do you make of these comments of him? Like, I don't know why, a sense of urgency, I don't have a sense of urgency for this. That can't be good.
No, it's, the guy who is on the radio when he's not doing press conferences and so forth is his son, Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Jones is the general manager. So it's just those 2 guys, and that's it. And that's why they like having weak coaches like Mike McCarthy, who's just a nice guy. I mean, it doesn't mean he's a bad coach. It's just you got to play along with Jerry and let them do their thing at the pace they want, and you can't be riling things up saying, hey, we need him in here. We need the reps. Like Bill Parcells was there for a little while, and the Cowboys got going, and he decided to have Romo be the starting quarterback when he was a no-name, non-drafted player from Eastern Illinois. And he pushed Jerry Jones' buttons because he wanted to win. And Jerry said, he cycled him on out of there. So he's one of the guys who just get along and put up with the way Jerry does business. Now, Jerry does business unbelievably well, and he is the leader of the NFL's explosion because there was a time when the TV networks, the business side, and all the strategies where they flipped out when they are a Coca-Cola NFL-sponsored team. The official drink of the NFL was Coca-Cola, and he did it with Pepsi, but he didn't do it with the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
He did it with the stadium only, and they just wanted to tear his head off until they all started doing it.
Yeah.
So
we
is
can
just
all do this.
And the television contracts and everything else. So Jerry does great, basically owning his own stadium down there. AT&T having giant events other than Cowboy games. But his football acumen is obviously not as good as it was. He's 81 years old. I don't think Steven's that strong to help him out. And he and Jimmy Johnson.
So far, Steven's qualifications are that he's his father's son, and
they haven't won any playoff games hardly.
He's gotten to have this job ever since his dad bought the team.
Yes. Well, Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones did a good job together. And the yin and the yang of those two guys.
Jimmy couldn't take it anymore.
But Jimmy couldn't take it anymore. And ever since then, it's been a Jerry Jones show. And you live with some interesting things. Let's put this in perspective, okay? You don't know who Clint Murchison is, probably. You might. But most people have no idea who Clint Murchison is. That's because he was the Dallas Cowboy owner originally who let Tom Landry, Tex Stram, Gil Brandt, the famous names, run his football team.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys were the most dominant and became America's team because they're in the playoffs every year.
Mm-hmm.
And no one heard from Clint Murchison. So Jerry's on the opposite end of the spectrum. And you might want to wave the flag and say how awful that is. But the fact is, if you list the owners in order of who you'd like your owner to be, 1 to 32 in the NFL, Jerry's got to be in the middle. He may be actually up toward the top 10.
Yeah.
My point is,
he's someone that people know, too.
Well, but the Cowboys have won 12 games, like 4 seasons in a row.
They just don't win.
They've actually
anymore.
Drafted, Micah Parsons,
CeeDee Lamb.
They've actually put
Dak Prescott was a very successful mid-round draft pick,
and they win the division. No NFC East team seems to ever be able to repeat. It's kind of a funny thing.
Right.
It may be 15 years
Without
since they've had a repeat. So even the Eagles coming out the Super Bowl after they played the Chiefs, you're like, okay, they're definitely better than the Cowboys, and the Cowboys beat them last year. So the Cowboys aren't going to win a division this year. But the fact is, Jerry Jones has got to be in the top half of the owners about producing football excellence. Just think how bad the rest of the owners are. This is not a compliment to Jerry.
Yeah.
This is just, these people are rich, come into a world they know nothing about, and can't help but dabble in it. Because if you're the executive of whatever, does anybody care about that job, or do they say, you're the owner of the blank NFL team?
Yeah.
And suddenly you need to get involved. Did you see I know Jake did, Hard Knocks off-season?
I watched
New York Giants.
Bit. I didn't see all of it.
I watched all of it.
Did you see Mr. Mara come in and talk once in a while to the general manager? You probably don't know about this show. It's all about the general manager.
I just haven't watched all.
It's all about the general manager. It's basically in his office, like
preparing for
the
draft,
like a TV
free agency
sitcom, wasn't
stuff,
it?
Yeah.
Jake,
yeah,
is that right? Like his office was the sitcom.
It was a reality television show.
But it was like in his office, and everyone would come in and talk to him, and he'd be on the phone. It's basically about him.
Yeah.
He was the star of it.
It was 75%. Like I watched Hard Knocks, Chicago Bears first one this week, and it had a variety of stories. They did a really nice job.
Yeah.
But the Giants is all about what this
that's
general
what the
manager.
offseason is.
Well, my point is that the owners, the Tisch and the Maras, own the Giants, and they are the ones who allowed the NFL to be great. Because unlike the Yankees, who said, let's take advantage of all the extra money in New York, they actually agreed with all their partners, no matter where they were, including Green Bay.
Right.
And said, we're going to share the income, the main income, the TV income. This family did more for the NFL than anybody else by not smashing everybody.
Right.
And so they're very calm, very positive. It's a well-run organization. And you can see that. He comes walking in, and he has his opinions. They're hilarious because he kind of calls out the general manager, but he does it in a soft voice and walks out. He just goes, Saquon Barkley's our best player. He's been a great Giant. Our fans know him better than anybody else. I will not sleep very well if he ends up playing in the NFC East for another team.
Even said the Eagles, I think.
Yeah, and if he plays for the Eagles. And this is early in the process. And then he just quietly walks out. But he lets the general manager make his decisions.
Joe Shane is the general manager for the Giants.
Yeah.
So my point is that ownership group really handles themselves well and are involved, but quietly behind the scenes like Clark Hunt.
Like Clark Hunt, yeah.
Right? But those are the A-plus type of things where most of these owners can jack stuff up right and left. So, yeah, I'm no fan of how Jerry's doing things. He is the problem because he won't let his coaches coach. And all you have to do is be to one Cowboys game, Todd, where you're behind the scenes, game ends, and you might be running around downstairs of Arrowhead Stadium and looking around to do your work, and who do you see come out? You'll see Andy Reid do his interview. You might see Patrick, and you might see the Cowboys coach and Dak But who do you really see? Jerry.
Stands outside, holds court.
And there is a big circle, and you guys had a soundbite earlier today that plays it out well. There's a give and take. The media has got to appreciate that Jerry speaks.
Yeah.
And he'll say stuff.
Yeah.
He says stuff about the game, about the team, about his players. Who knows? Or whatever crazy thoughts in his mind as an 80-year-old. We got a little bit of that going on, in America. Jerry, but the other side of it, I heard Jake talking about this. The other side of it is you got to play along with him.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he says dumb stuff or is kind of crazy, like they can't believe, they don't fire back with a mean question. They laugh with him.
Yeah.
Because he'll answer another 5 questions.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like down there in your role, how you do it, but it was a very interesting discussion you guys started when Jake was like, really? They're laughing with him?
Questions?
But that's what you've got to do. You got to smile, and he'll answer another 5 questions because he can't. He is not going to do it if you're mean to him.
Here's what happens when you go down
let him
to
make his own grave.
Clark Hunt and Lamar Hunt Jr., David Hunt, they're at these games, right? They get their families there. They're all there. They're standing there. You'll see them, when the players come up that tunnel. They'll like Andy Reid's wife Tammy's there, and the hugging players, and they're all there watching that. They're there, and then they'll come in and they'll sit in the middle to the back of the press conference room and watch the press conferences happen. And Clark is in there, and they shake hands in the locker room. That's it. He's not going to talk to you. Midway through the season, he's available. If they make the playoffs, he's generally available. That's it. He's not going to stand there after every game and answer a bunch of questions about the game.
But Jerry does.
That's what Jerry does.
It is the main.
He's got to be the only owner that does that.
I believe so. And I mean, this is a big scrum.
It's all
it's
of
what?
Them. Everyone.
5 deep and 7 around or something.
Yes.
I mean, there's a ton of people around him outside the locker room. While
the players are in there answering questions.
Right. Or the head coach might be up at the podium. They don't time it out.
No.
It's just Jerry's there, and he takes all the questions, and then his son, Steven, has a show. It's a circus. The Cowboys are a circus, but they're still one of the better-run teams in the NFL, as crazy as it sounds. Does that make sense? I'm not making excuses for the Cowboys.
No, listen.
I don't like it at all. You don't win with
the
this
Cowboys than the Panthers have an embarrassing owner right now, and they're no good. And
he might be the worst.
And they drafted probably the wrong guy to play quarterback and gave up a lot to get him.
And the head coach wanted to draft the other guy.
Yeah. And now he's gone.
That's when they can really.
He wanted to draft Stroud, and and then
the owners are in there with their opining on the draft. That's when they really blow things.
Yeah. If I was an owner, I'd be like, "Who do you guys think? All right, let's go." Maybe some big item things. Oh yeah, quarterback or defensive player. Like we get something like that. But
yeah,
never
with a salary cap. There's very good questions about how does this affect this player who, after 2 years, has his contract run out? Is that what you're trying to? You can ask some inquisitive questions and just see if it makes sense to you. But generally, you don't know what the heck you're doing.
No.
Like, oh, he runs a 40? And he did how many push-ups? And draft him. But Jerry is like, well, why is it a priority? Oh, well, why are you not worried about this? I went to high school. I went to college.
The East will be something to watch this year because the Cowboys. I mean, are they going to get CD signed? Dax.
Well, Dan Quinn
all that.
Dan Quinn fixed the defense.
Yes,
and a lot of the team as a defensive coordinator for the
now
Dallas
you've already
Cowboys.
Mentioned, can you repeat?
Well, he's Washington's coach.
He's Washington's head coach, and they have new
and
ownership
Dorrance Armstrong,
now, and
a
probably
KU guy,
a new life. Right at Washington with the new ownership and all that. I mean, they
quarterback,
everything. They got to feel different.
And I like what
everything.
they did in free agency. I think Washington might be a dangerous team this year. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but
I still don't think the Giants are going to do much with Daniel Jones, the quarterback. But Philly was a little down last year.
They should have a bounce back year.
They should have a bounce back year.
Philly's going to be good.
The East is going to be something.
Yeah, it'll be a heck of a race. Now, like I said, if you go back, and I don't have it in front of me, but I don't think anybody's repeated for a long time. So you probably, if you want to just bet on those kind of crazy, funny statements, you go, Cowboys aren't going to win the division. But that doesn't mean they can still be a playoff team.
For sure.
Because 7 get in now, not 6. And, man, that makes a big difference. Because we were talking about Royals baseball, that last wild card, that extra one, creates a ton of value in baseball. And football's done the same thing.
Yep.
It was really hard to get to that 6th spot. You got a good chance at number 7. So I think the Cowboys should make the playoffs. The Eagles should bounce back. The Washington football team should be better, and I'm still thinking the Giants are slacking a little bit right now. I mean, they have put so much money in Daniel Jones' pocket. How would you feel about that?
Exactly. I mean, that's what we talk about a bunch with these quarterbacks. I mean, Daniel Jones.
And Saquon Barkley's with the Eagles,
He's with the
playing
Eagles,
you
exactly.
twice.
And so you just have to pay quarterbacks.
By
and
the
that's
way,
what they're dealing with in Dallas.
The last teams to repeat in the NFC East was a team called the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you think was head coach?
Was
of
it
that
Andy
team?
Reid that far ago?
01, 02,
Yeah,
03,
Andy.
04.
Yeah.
That's the last time.
Andy Reid.
20 years. It's been
20 years since
since
the repeat.
Yeah,
And they've all won.
Right. Oh yeah.
And even Washington has won the division, I think, in that 20
yeah.
years.
Washington's won it 3 times in that 20 years.
Yeah.
Giants, they've only won it 3 times.
They
I will
happened to win
say,
a couple Super Bowls. They didn't even win the division. They won Super Bowls,
Jake
so.
may not have been awake when this happened, or I mean alive. I shouldn't say awake. He's always awake. But I don't even know if you're alive. But I kind of remember sometimes the things that I say and just kind of evaluate myself. Now, was that accurate at the time? I am telling you, I was sitting right here, Todd, and there's no doubt I can remember when the Chiefs are making a change at coach. I go, I hope Andy Reid is leaving Philadelphia like rumors are having it.
Mm-hmm.
He is the guy. There was no doubt. I said it over and over right here in this same seat I'm in right now. Andy Reid will kill it as a coach of the Chiefs. If they sequence this and get lucky to get him here, why they got tired of him and the winning in Philadelphia? Just because he barely didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
But, man, the division. You go back and look at the coaches that were coaching back then. Oh, my.
Well, he dominated the division. I mean, you just read 4 in a row, and he won after that, too, at some point,
And the NFC East was the best division out there.
Yeah. It's interesting.
He
But
is so good.
Philly fans, he wanted to win.
And then he won it in
And then they had a guy win a Super Bowl.
And they won it, they went 4 in a row. Giants won it in 05, and then he won it again in 06.
Then they had a guy win a Super Bowl, and they fired him, too. So, I mean,
right.
What are you going to do?
Now, that one was a little wild. And guess who that sequence is in tomorrow night? The Kansas City Chiefs play.
Doug Peterson
and Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that as we move along.
As he moved on from Philadelphia to Jacksonville.
Yeah. He's and that's a big question too. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, big step back last year. They started off so great, and then they kind of fell apart. Got to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, there's so many quarterback questions in this league right now because they all get paid now. Trevor Lawrence is making a lot of money. Justin Herbert's going to be making a lot of money. Kyler Murray's making a lot of money. Deshaun Watson's making a lot of money.
Dak's about to break all of them.
To get a lot of money. But Daniel Jones is making a lot of money. They can't all win. That's just not the way it works.
That's the thing.
Even with 7
none of those guys
teams.
none of those guys have won, though, really.
No.
I mean, Tua, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence. Dak has won.
Yeah.
Dak has won,
division after
and
division.
they still won't pay him.
Well, but you know what? They did sign him to a nice extension for a middle round draft pick. But now is the break the bank one. This is the big one that you want to get now.
But guess what? It's going to be worse. If they would have signed him 3 months ago, they could have paid him Trevor Lawrence money.
Well, that's the whole thing. Timing is a big deal on this whole thing. And that's why, the Chiefs got Harrison Butker signed. There's a lot of reports they're going to get some of these things done before camp this year, which they don't really need to sign. You don't need to sign Creed Humphrey before camp. You don't need to sign Trey Smith before camp. But I think it's good business for the player to get signed before because what if you get hurt?
It's not a distraction.
Not a distraction. And, we saw this play out a couple years ago with Tyrann Mathieu. They didn't get him signed. And then he admitted he didn't maybe play as well as he should have during the year. I think it's good business on both sides to get them signed, but you can't have this stuff hanging over your head, especially at the quarterback position or at the wide receiver 1 position.
NFL players like Tim Grunhard, who will be in here later, will absolutely tell you that when it's all said and done, they realize at some point it's a business and they're all independent contractors. And with it, you can say the salary cap, but it doesn't have to be a salary cap. All time in history, the owners would say bye-bye to you if they just didn't think it was the right thing to do. You wanted too much money, other options. And suddenly you realize you're in a business relationship and you need to take care of yourself. That does not lead to winning on a football team. Okay, so the thing that you brought up is so critical because finding that fine line to keep players thinking about the team and the ideal that we as fans have. I mean, when the Chiefs run on the field, there's millions of people who are like, let's go, this is our team. We got to fight and claw and win for the old Kansas City Chiefs. And you think those players are thinking exactly that. Well, there's very few teams that can make that happen. And by signing guys early and not making it a battle, what does CeeDee Lamb think? He was a superstar last year for the Cowboys. Go look at the games. Go look at the numbers. unbelievable production every year, but last year was crazy good. And right now he just goes, I'm not a Dallas Cowboy. I'm a business guy, wondering if I can want to play for them. Or that mindset is not what you want to have. And guess what? The Kansas City Chiefs are finding the right times to sign the guys, keeping them pulling in the same direction. And it really starts with Patrick Mahomes. The contract he signed was so team-friendly. When I saw that contract, I go, he will be able to help the Chiefs win just like Tom Brady did.
Yeah.
And he starts leading them down.
They've really
Kelsey's
only had,
underpaid.
They've really only had Chris Jones was the distraction, but they handled it so much better than these others did. And Chris,
and he's twice signed when people thought he wouldn't.
And he would put a couple of Instagram posts out or something. But he, as a young player in the league who likes to go do that stuff, did way less posting than many would. Because that's their message. Don't go be stupid on social media.
They have a respect
for each other,
for the organization
and the team,
for the head coach,
players.
For each other.
The way things are being run at the Chiefs, if you got a 1 to 100 scale there on 100, I don't know where the next ownership group is. 80. I mean, they're killing people.
Yeah.
The way they're doing from Clark Hunt all the way through general manager
It's
Andy
going to
Reid,
get harder and harder.
Steve Spagnuolo,
foster
Patrick Mahomes,
teamwork at the pro level, because now these guys in college are independent contractors big time, and that wasn't the case 15 years ago. So it's going to be hard.
Transfer
to
portal, baby.
They just turn into there. It's all for themselves. Whatever. It's all good. We'll talk a little more
We
game
love it.
stuff with the Chiefs and the Jags. Stan Weber is in studio on New Day with SSJ on a Friday.